We've been talking about the Salvation Army's vision, where we use this idea of transforming Australia one life at a time with the love of Jesus. We've talked a lot about transformation and what that might look like, and that people are treated, believe that are in the image of God and therefore treated with respect. But I want to get to this sort of with the love of Jesus idea and talk about the place of faith, particularly the Christian faith in this. Now, I know that's something you've been studying. It's sort of not where you started though, was it?
Well, I was going to say, I accidentally studied it.
Yeah,
I've been doing lots of research with the Salvation Army, lots of research from a proper social scientist.
Which is nice and...
It's objective, it's rigorous, it's independent, and we're just looking for objective facts.
So the Christian faith?
Well, I was trained to ignore it. But do you know why I was trained to ignore it? Lots of the literature says that when the Christian faith is involved in community services, social services, it's actually bad.
Wow. I mean, not neutral?
No, it's bad.
Yeah.
If you read the literature, it says Christian faith involved, bad, because there's proselytising. We're forcing people into the church. We'll give you services if you come to sermons, if you come to worship.
We'll judge you.
We'll judge you. That's almost, that's probably one of the great warnings from the literature. You know, you're not deserving, you're not living up to the Christian way of life, all of the opposite to what we've been talking about in these videos. So I ignored faith. I ignored Christianity from all my research with Salvation Army services, which now I look back and go, gosh, that wasn't a clever idea. Nevertheless, it was great because I realised because people told me that the research was wrong. And it was wrong because I deliberately ignored faith.
Yeah, and yet faith was so central. So what did you learn about the place of Christian faith in the Salvation Army's service provision?
I learned that overtly engaging with the Christian faith opened up ideas to think about how the Salvation Army could be radical, how it could be engaging, how it could open up to the people that are excluded, how it could actually create the conditions for transformation. And what I learned is that from many, many people who society has left behind, people who are often a client of Centrelink or housing or one service or the other, they just want someone in their life who's not paid to be there. They want what the Salvation Army's got to offer.
The community,
the relationship, being valued, being treated with worth, all of the things that are core.
So if I hear you right, you're saying that your original assumptions were that Christian faith at the best is neutral and at the worst is destructive. However, through your study, you're actually seeing that it's an active work for good. Another example of how to move from being transactional to transformational in our core context is quite a lot of core have a doorway site or emergency relief where a person might come to receive assistance, financial assistance.
Like a transaction often.
As a transaction, and they come in, they get their card and they leave. There are many core though that are asking, how do we create a context for transformation, for relationships here? And so they're doing things like at the point where a person might come for assistance, are creating cafe spaces and having people who are there to share a cup of coffee and a conversation and create relationships.
Trying to lead to the transformational space.
Indeed, so that a person is doing more than a get the card and leave, that if they want to engage at depth, we've got places that can create those relationships.
Also opportunities for it. Many of the services that are out there doing phenomenally radical, engaging work are doing it because of their faith. So we were trying to, we want to push beyond. We know that people try and help others because of their faith, but we, in our research, we're trying to ask, well, what does that mean? What does helping someone mean? And of course it means that we have to take seriously the perspective and experience of the other. And when we do, we realise that what they want is connection, what they want is relationship, what they want is being valued. They want to be able to participate in a community of their own choosing.
I remember at the Still Others conference, you spoke there, 2 other academics who all, I think, came to research with the Salvation Army, assuming that faith was present but not important, and all left saying, actually, faith is a driver, Christian faith is central, it creates the context for relationships, for community, and therefore for the transformation that we've been talking about. So I think you all left saying, Salvation Army, don't dial this down.
Do the opposite. Be absolutely upfront, shout it from the rooftops. And I think a lot of the concern that I had about faith was because it was concealed. People didn't want to talk about it because they didn't want to put people off. I think when faith-based organisations are at their best is when they're explicit about their faith. And when faith is an invitation, when faith is about all the things that we've discussed. It's about relationship, it's about value, it's about invitations.
Yeah.
It's about worth. I think that's when faith-based organisations and the Salvation Army, either in the professional expressions or core, that is when they're at their best and most beautiful, when they're overt about faith.
Yeah. In our mission statement, one of these, our intentions is that we will create faith pathways, and one of the statements under that talks about offering the good news as a gift, and this idea that it's attractive and it's beautiful. And another image I've heard of sharing of our faith, or evangelism, which is a word that's probably not used as much now because we get a bit nervous. People. Yeah, is that of a gallery, and that we are drawn in a gallery to a thing of beauty. And for us, following Jesus, being a part of a community of faith, is a beautiful thing that leads to a generous life, and that is a thing of beauty that will attract people to a relationship with God. And we want to be upfront about that.
In everything we do, we want to live that life according to Jesus, and we want to be upfront about it on the other hand. And that is how people want to come and join in the journey of love.
Yeah, look, it's been great talking to you, Cameron. Thank you so much for your work with us, for your partnership with the Salvation Army, and for sharing in these conversations.
I love
it's been fantastic.
Lynn. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.